In the ancient city of Ife, a land rich in culture and tradition, lived a woman named Moremi. Moremi was a vision of beauty and grace, with eyes that sparkled like the stars and a spirit that burned with unwavering courage. Moremi was the beloved wife of Oramian, a king and warrior whose valor was renowned throughout the land, and they have a son named Olu. But despite the nobility of their lineage, their homeland was plagued by a shadow of fear. Neighboring kingdoms, particularly the fierce warriors of Igbesin, posed a constant threat to the peace and prosperity of Ife. Raid after raid, the warriors of Igbesin would descend upon the land, leaving destruction and despair in their wake. The people of Ife lived in fear, their hearts heavy with the burden of uncertainty. But Moremi refused to cower in the face of adversity. Determined to protect her people, she devised a daring plan to uncover the secrets of their enemy and bring an end to the raids. Moremi visited the water goddess, Esemirin, to help her unveil the secrets of the Igbesin oppressors. The water goddess agreed to help her but gave her a strict condition that after she successfully defeated the oppressors, she would request her to sacrifice the most valuable thing in her life. Moremi asked the water goddess what the valuable thing could be, but Esemirin, the water goddess, said she would tell her after they successfully defeat their oppressors. Moremi agreed with the condition and the water goddess helped her. Disguising herself as a slave, Moremi ventured into the heart of the kingdom of Igbusin. As she entered the kingdom of Igbusin, she mingled with the servants and laborers, earning their trust with acts of kindness and humility. She listened intently to their conversations, gleaning valuable information about the inner workings of the kingdom and the plans of its rulers. With cunning and guile, she gained the trust of the king's harem, weaving her way into their inner circle and learning of the kingdom's weaknesses. For months, Moremi lived among her enemies, gathering information and plotting her next move. She endured hardships and dangers, all the while keeping her true identity hidden beneath a veil of deception. Moremi's journey into the heart of the kingdom of Igbusin was fraught with danger and uncertainty. With each step she took, she felt the weight of her mission pressing down upon her, knowing that the slightest misstep could spell disaster for herself and her people. Moremi endured hardships and dangers beyond imagining during her time in Igbusin. She toiled under the scorching sun, performing menial tasks and enduring the harsh treatment of her captors. Yet, through it all, she remained steadfast in her resolve, driven by a fierce determination to fulfill her mission and save her people from the horrors of war. And when she had learned all she could, she slipped away under cover of darkness, her heart heavy with the weight of her mission. Returning to Ife, Moremi shared her findings with her people, igniting a spark of hope in their weary souls. Together, they devised a strategy to defeat the warriors of Igbosin once and for all. Moremi convinced the men of Ife to fashion wooden masks resembling the fearsome spirits worshipped by the people of Igbusin. These masks would strike fear into the heart of their enemies. When the warriors of Igbusin launched their next attack, the men of Ife donned the masks and unleashed a surprise counterattack. With courage and determination, they fought back against their oppressors, driving them away and securing victory for their homeland. Moremi's bravery and cunning saved her people from further suffering, and she was hailed as a heroine throughout the land. But her triumph came at a great personal cost. Moremi's husband, Oramian, was impressed by her courage and sacrifice for Ife, and he reinstated Moremi as the Queen of Ife. Despite the acclaim and honor bestowed upon her, Moremi never forgot her roots or the sacrifices she made for her people. After a while, Moremi returned to Esemirin, the water goddess, to fulfill her pledge. The water goddess asked Moremi to sacrifice her only son, Olu, to the river. The request was very hard for Moremi, and she begged the water goddess to make the request less for her, but the water goddess refused. Moremi had no option but to fulfill her promise. She sacrificed her only son to the river. Moremi went back home crying. She felt broken and sad. The people of Ife stood by her and promised to be her eternal children. Moremi's legacy lives on to this day, celebrated in festivals, songs, and stories that honor her bravery and selflessness. She remains a symbol of strength and resilience, inspiring future generations to stand up for what is right and to never falter in the face of adversity. Moremi is a symbol of courage, bravery, and hope. Her spirit lives on, a guiding light for all who seek justice and freedom in the world.